All right, let's start seated.
Good morning,
Letting the
Stephanie.
bony parts, good morning. Letting the bony parts of your bum feel settled, feel heavy in the chair, maybe swaying back and forth, forward and back. Finding your center of balance. Maybe letting the hands rest wherever they feel good, palms up or palms down, whatever feels right in your body this morning. Maybe finding a sense of lifting the spine upward, broadening the shoulders, but letting it be a gentle sort of spaciousness or expansion so that the breath can flow easily. Maybe closing your eyes for the first few moments if it feels okay, or eyes could stay open, gaze soft. Noticing any sensations that are coming up this morning, even before we start. Giving yourself time just to breathe. Being right here, right now, in this moment. Noticing your breath. As your mind starts to wander, see if you can let go of anything that's happened so far this morning or so far today. Letting go of any anticipation for what's to come. Just being here right now, in this present moment with this breath. Watching each inhale and each exhale as it happens. Maybe slowing down the breath any amount if that would feel okay. Maybe noticing if the inhales and exhales are even. Not judging if they're not, just noticing if one's more lengthy than the other. Giving yourself this time to observe, to check in. And as you sit with the breath for these few moments, maybe it would feel okay to start evening out the inhales and exhales if they're not quite equal. Not pushing to any point of strain or discomfort, but just noticing if it would feel okay to make them equal length. Bringing awareness back to your breath as your attention inevitably wanders. Observing the breath for a few more moments. And slowly and only as you're ready, starting to flutter the eyes open if they're closed. Start to move into the head a little bit or into the neck. Let's start by turning the head gently from side to side, inhaling and center. Exhaling, turning the head towards the left, any amount. This could be a very subtle turn or a deeper turn, depending on how your body feels this morning. Continuing to breathe. Maybe pausing in the turn. As you're ready, making your way back to center and taking a breath in center once you arrive. And then we'll turn the head this time to the right. Any amount. This side could feel a little different than the other as well. Your range of motion might not quite be equal. And then pausing on this side, continuing to breathe. As you're ready, making your way back to center, pausing in center, breathing here. And then we'll do that movement a few times with breath, inhaling in center, exhaling to one side, inhaling back to center as you're ready, exhaling other side, moving with the rhythm of your breath. Maybe twice more on each side. Letting the movement be smooth, noticing any areas that are sticky. Taking it slow. Allowing yourself time to notice body and breath. The next time you arrive back in center and you feel you've done both sides evenly, pause here. Noticing sensations in the neck, maybe in the shoulders or the base of the skull. Giving yourself the time to notice, the patience and stillness to notice. And let's move the head as if we were nodding our head yes. We'll start with an exhale, taking the chin down towards the chest. Pausing here, breathing space into the back of the neck. Still feeling that the shoulders are a bit broad, the spine is still quite tall. And we're not cranking the chin down or pulling the chin down. It's a gentle tuck of the chin. When you're ready with your next inhale, let's lift the gaze, lifting the chin, tipping the head up towards the ceiling gently. Not going to your maximum range, maybe about 60%. And then we'll gaze at the ceiling or towards the top corner of the room for a few breaths. And then let's continue moving with breath. When your next exhale arrives, tipping the chin down towards the chest. Then inhaling to lift the gaze, lifting the head. Exhaling to tip the chin down once more, moving to the rhythm of your breath, your body. We'll move through this cycle about twice more. Eyes can be open or closed. And slowly coming back to center, facing forward. Noticing sensations in the neck, anywhere else that you might feel. Now let's move down into the shoulders a little bit. We'll start just with some shoulder rolls, sweeping the shoulders forward, up, back and down. Hands can stay on your lap, or they could lift, whatever feels right in your body this morning. As you're ready, we'll switch directions. Releasing the shoulders down, releasing the hands back down to your lap. Again, giving yourself the time to notice. And let's move down into the spine a little bit. Let's start with a gentle twist, just exactly as we are, sitting nice and tall, feet firmly on the floor. Hands can rest on the thighs again to begin. Finding a broad chest, lots of space in the upper chest and back. Crown of the head reaching upward, chin about parallel with the floor, everything nice in line. Inhale and center. As you exhale, let's turn to the right, starting with the shoulders, turning the shoulders to the right. Spending a breath in the twist, letting it be a gentle twist. Then inhaling back to center as you're ready. We'll stay in center for a moment. And then prepare to twist on the other side. Tall seat, crown of the head lifting, everything in line, chin in line or parallel to the floor. Inhaling in center. As you exhale, turning the shoulders to the left. Spending a breath in the twist. Then inhaling back to center as you're ready. Noticing sensations. Let's take that twist one more time. Inhaling in center. Exhaling to the right, turning the shoulders. Maybe this time the left hand moves over towards the outside of the right leg. Maybe the gaze turns over the right shoulder. If that feels okay for the neck, the gaze can stay forward as well. Inhaling back through center as you're ready. Taking a breath between. Inhaling in center. Exhaling to turn the shoulders to the left. Maybe the right hand reaches for the outside of the left leg. Maybe the gaze turns over the left shoulder if it feels okay for the neck. And inhaling all the way back through the center as you're ready. Let's move into our side bend. Actually, let's wait for the side bend. Let's do our cat-cow variation. Let's start with hands in prayer today. Again, finding that tall seat. Feet are firmly planted. Sit bones are firmly planted on the chair. Backs of the thighs are supported. Finding this neutral space where the spine is in alignment. Again, the chin is about parallel with the floor. It might feel nice to push palms in towards each other, almost lifting the elbows outward, kind of finding a center of balance and some stability along the midline. As you inhale, let's open the hands, open the arms, coming into goal post or cactus arms. Maybe even reaching the shoulder blades back towards each other. Arms back behind us a little bit, and maybe finding a slight gaze, a lift of the gaze. Continuing to breathe. And exhaling to bring hands back to center, back to prayer. Pausing back in this neutral spine for a moment. Resetting that length in the torso, space in the upper chest and back. And then we'll move with breath. With inhale, we'll open up the arms, coming into cactus shape, maybe coming into a little bit of an upper back bend. Gaze might lift. Exhaling to bring the hands back to prayer. Maybe pulling the thumbs in towards your center, rounding the spine a little bit, almost as though the belly button could reach the back of the chair. Chin might tuck down. Inhaling to open back up. Little upper body back bend. Exhaling to round in, pulling the thumbs in towards your center, rounding the spine, chin tucks, belly towards the back of the chair. Inhaling again. Do this about twice more, moving with your breath. Inhaling to broaden the chest, pulling shoulder blades back towards each other. Exhaling to draw everything inward, rounding forward. Inhaling, just coming back to a neutral spine as you're ready. Releasing hands to your lap again. Ensuring that your feet are about hip width distance apart. Let's actually shift forward on the chair a little bit, allowing for a little more space. Feet about hip width distance, firmly on the floor. Let's bring the tips of the fingers behind the head. They can either interlace or just kind of reaching back behind your ears. They don't have to touch behind your head. And we're going to combine kind of a bit of a side bend with a bit of a twist. We're gonna feel it in our bellies a little bit, I imagine. So sitting up nice and tall here, inhale. As you exhale, imagine you could reach your right elbow towards the left knee. Letting this be gentle, it's just a moving towards idea. They might not touch. Then inhaling back to center. As you exhale, next time, left elbow towards right knee. In that direction. Inhaling back to center. Moving with breath, alternating elbows, right elbow to left knee. Inhaling back through center, following your breath. Exhaling left elbow to right knee. Back to center. One more on each side. I'm not going to cue, following your own breath. And pausing back in center as you feel you've done both sides evenly, keeping the hands here just for another couple of moments. We'll do our side bend from this position. As you're ready, with an exhale, tipping over to one side. And inhaling back to center. Exhaling other side. Back to center. Twice more on each side. As you tip to one side, keeping the opposite bum cheek super heavy as if it were glued to the chair. Maybe imagining you could reach your elbows back behind you a little more. Releasing the hands back to your laps. Whew, feels good to let those come down. Making any movements that might feel good. Maybe a little shoulder roll would feel good, or shrugging the shoulders and releasing, a little wiggle and shake. Let's see, let's go into our traditional cat-cow. We've kind of opened the chest and rounded the back a little bit, but let's find our more traditional cat-cow variation. So sitting a little bit away from the backrest of your chair, hands can come to knees. I find knees offer a little more support and stability, but hands could also come to the thighs if that's a more comfortable position. With an inhale, we're drawing the chest forward through the upper arms and pulling the shoulder blades back towards each other. The gaze might lift. As you exhale, pushing the knees away or the thighs away, rounding the back, Halloween cat shape. Shoulder blades spread apart a little bit. Moving with your breath, inhaling to arch the back. Gaze lifts, shoulder blades pull towards each other. Exhaling to round the spine like a Halloween cat shape. Moving about twice more through 2 cycles. Moving to whatever depth of this pose feels good in your body. It could be quite subtle. It might just be a very small movement. As you feel you've had enough, coming back to that tall and neutral spine, feet firmly on the floor, sit bones firmly on the chair, shoulders melting down, chin parallel to the floor, crown of the head lifting up. Giving yourself this time to notice sensations. Let's move down into the legs. We started working with the core and belly a little bit with our twisting of elbows. So let's kind of continue that before we get into range of motion of the hips. So sitting maybe along the edge of your chair, you want to feel quite stable for this one. It might feel good to reach down so that you can hold the edge of your chair. As you're ready, let's lift the right leg forward, straightening the foot, maybe flexing the toes, and then allowing the right foot to come back to the floor. And then we'll switch to the left leg, straightening the left leg, maybe flexing the foot, and bringing that foot back down to the floor. So that's the general idea. As we move with breath, we typically exhale when we need strength. So let's inhale and center. Exhale to lift, drawing the belly in, then inhaling to lower the leg. Exhaling other side. Inhaling to lower. We'll do one more on each side. Exhaling to lift the leg. Inhaling to lower. Exhale, other side. Inhale to lower. And release for a moment, maybe wiggling the knees, maybe shimmying the torso a little bit. We'll add on a little bit. Again, finding that support, holding the sides of your chair if that feels good. We can add a complication later that will be optional. Inhaling nice and tall. As you exhale, straightening right leg. This time, let's stay here while we point the foot and flex the foot. And then inhale to lower. Exhale, other leg, left foot. Breathing here, inhale to point. Exhale to flex. Inhaling to lower. One more time for that each leg. Inhaling and center. Exhaling, right foot straightens. Stay for the point. Flex again. And lower. Other leg, exhale to lift. Inhale to point. Exhale. And inhale to lower. Releasing again for a moment, finding any wiggling that would feel good. Let's actually, keeping your hands around your thighs or knees, let's just circle the torso for a moment. This can be small circles or big circles. Switching directions as you're ready. And coming back to your neutral spine. All right, final complication. Either repeating the single leg lifts, or the added complication would be inhaling in center. Exhale to lift left leg. Stay here, breathe. Next exhale, maybe lifting right leg. Maybe that's crazy. Releasing legs. Another variation of this complication could be without straightening the legs, lifting onto one, keeping the knees bent, lifting onto one toe, maybe the other toe, maybe one knee lifts, maybe both knees lift. Actually, I can't lift both knees right now either. I'm gonna fall forward. All right, final complication. Let's start off back in neutral, allowing everything to come back to the floor. Lifting right leg. Lifting both arms. Maybe the left foot can come up onto toe. And release everything down on an exhale as you're ready. Breathing here for a moment. And we'll do the other side. Preparing yourself, inhale and center. Exhaling to lift left leg forward. Maybe lifting the arms. Maybe coming up onto the toe of the right foot. Remembering to breathe. Then release everything back down. Finding maybe some wiggling of the knees again. Let's move through our sun salutations. Let's take feet wide today if that feels okay in your body. If you prefer to have knees narrow, that's always fine as well. We're just going to work on the forward fold a little bit. Setting yourself up, nice tall spine. As you're ready, sweeping arms up and overhead. Exhaling to bring the hands back down to knees. As you inhale, drawing the chest forward, arching the back, maybe gaze lifts. Exhaling to find that Halloween cat shape, rounding the spine, belly towards the back of the chair. Inhaling back to a tall and neutral spine. As you exhale, folding forward, hands could stay on the knees, maybe forearms come to the thighs. Or maybe you can walk down your shins. Or maybe hands can come to the floor. So any of these variations, wherever you are, let's breathe in the forward fold for a moment. Maybe it would feel okay wherever you are to release the head. Letting the head be heavy and the neck be soft. As you're ready, let's inhale, right arm to sweep up into a twist. Exhale, right arm down. Left arm, inhale, sweep up into a twist. Exhale, left arm comes back down. Inhale, both arms will sweep up and overhead or wide. Inhaling back to a tall seat. Exhaling, hands to thighs. Noticing how your body feels. Let's take a pause between each sun salutation. We'll do 2 more. Let's move through that again. As you're ready, inhaling to sweep arms up and overhead. Exhaling, hands come back to thighs. Inhaling to arch the spine, chest comes forward through the upper arms. Shoulder blades pull towards each other. Exhale to round the spine, Halloween cat shape, shoulder blades pull apart. Inhaling back to a tall seat. Exhale to find your variation of a forward fold. Hands could come to, or shins could come. Forearms to shins, forearms to thighs. Or hands could come to the floor. As you're ready, inhaling, right arm sweeps up into a twist. Exhaling, right arm comes back Inhale, left arm sweeps up into a twist. Exhale, left arm comes back down. Let's pause here for a moment, continuing to breathe. And again, finding that idea of letting the head be heavy, letting the neck be soft. Would it feel okay to release the head down any amount, staying for about 3 breaths here? As you're ready, let's sweep both arms up and overhead, bringing us back to our tall seat. Exhaling, hands to thighs. Pausing here again, let's take some time. Last sun salutation as you're ready. Inhale, sweep arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands to thighs. Inhale, arching the back, chest comes forwards, shoulder blades pull towards each other. Exhale to round the spine, spreading the shoulder blades, belly towards the back of the chair. Inhaling back to a tall and neutral spine. Exhale to fold forward your variation, forearms to thighs, fingertips walking down shins, or maybe hands come to the floor. Let the head be heavy. Pause here for a breath or two. As you're ready, with an inhale, sweeping right arm up into a twist. Exhale, right arm down. Inhale, left arm sweeps up into a twist. Exhale, left arm down. Inhale, both arms sweep up and overhead. Exhaling back, hands come to thighs, tall and neutral spine. Pausing here, noticing sensations or feelings. Beautiful. Let's come to standing, so adjusting feet, however that works for you. Coming to standing any way that feels good. Maybe coming through chair, but I'm not going to hold you there. For today, let's face the seat of the chair. We'll start with a chair variation of down dog. So hands can still rest on the back of the chair. You'll be reaching over the seat of the chair as you walk your feet back. Feet can be wide, knees can be bent. And thinking about pulling the tailbone or sending the tailbone in one direction and letting the crown of the head reach in the opposite direction. It might feel good to sway a little bit from side to side, from one leg to the other, like we're wagging our tails a little bit. It might feel good to let the head drop just enough so that the ears are in line with the arms. That might not feel good in your body, and you might be a little higher as well, which is okay. Breathing here. And as you're ready, coming back to standing, walking back towards the chair. And pausing and standing for a moment. We're going to find a little bit of core work standing by doing leg lifts in the opposite direction. So from seated, we were lifting our leg forward. This time we're going to lift our legs backwards. So giving yourself enough distance from the seat of your chair so that if you lean over, knees can be bent again. If you lean over, you have a firm landing point on the seat of your chair. Hands can either be fully on the chair or you can grip the edges of the chair depending on how your chair is set up and depending on what feels most stable for you. Then adjusting your feet as needed so that you feel nice and stable. As though you were going to lift one leg, can you keep your balance here? Setting yourself up. It sometimes feels good to bring the feet closer together as well as you lift one leg. And you can test just coming up onto onto one foot, seeing if that'll throw your balance or if you feel quite stable. Finding a sense that your spine is neutral. So just like when we're in our tall seat, letting the back of the head be in line with the shoulder blades and the pelvis. From here, let's lift the right leg, right foot, and stretch the leg out behind you. Maybe the toes come to the floor, maybe the toes lift, but feel as though you're reaching out through the heel. Would it feel okay to lift the leg a little more? Would it feel okay to lift the leg a little more? Maybe a little more. Remembering to breathe. If it feels okay to stay here, we'll stay for 2 breaths. Imagine you could push out through the heel, lift the back of the thigh, push out through the heel, lift the back of the thigh, and finally release, bringing right foot back down to the floor. Maybe wiggling or bending into both knees a little bit, finding a little release of those muscles, and then we'll switch sides. This time, right foot is going to stay on the floor, left foot will lift. Maybe stretching the leg out behind you, the toes might come to the floor. If it would feel okay, maybe the left foot lifts, stretching out through the heel. Would it feel okay to lift the leg a little higher? Would it feel okay to lift the leg a little higher? Maybe a little higher. If it feels okay, keep breathing. If it feels okay, staying here for another 2 breath cycles, pushing out through the heel, lifting the back of the thigh, pushing out through the heel, lifting the back of the thigh, and finally releasing the left leg back to the floor, making your way back to standing. Finding any wiggling or release, maybe shaking the feet out a little bit. As always, I will add a possible complication or variation. Either repeating the same version, hands firmly planted on the seat of the chair, or you can use the back of the chair, which distributes your the points of contact and your points of stability further away. And I find that it adds more challenge for me. It might not be the case for everyone. So we can play with it. And if you don't like this version, you can come back to the seat of the chair. If you know the seat of the chair is as far as you want to play, then we can stick with the seat of the chair. All right, setting ourselves up. So this one's almost like starting in a chair version of down dog, except we want our feet more narrow so that when we lift one leg, we're not throwing ourselves off balance. So let's start by keeping the left foot firmly on the floor. Right foot will lift. Sending right leg back behind. Maybe the toes stay on the floor. Or maybe the foot lifts. Reaching out through the heel of the right foot. Lifting the back of the right thigh. Remembering to breathe. Pushing out through the heel. Lifting the thigh. Pushing out through the heel. Lifting the thigh. And let's release right foot back to the floor. Maybe finding a little in between wiggling, and we'll set up on the other side. Right foot stays firmly planted. Left foot starts to get light. Maybe the leg stretches back, toes on the floor. Then maybe reaching out through the heel of the left foot and lifting the back thigh. Reaching out through the heel, lifting the left thigh. Reaching out through the heel, lifting the right thigh, remembering to breathe. Then releasing to the floor, making your way back towards your chair. Letting both feet feel firmly planted on the floor. And that's it. That's done for the complications of the lifting of legs. We are all set. Let's do a quick balance. So having your support on whichever side feels good. We'll keep we'll stick to tree today. Let's start by balancing on the left foot, letting the right foot get light, maybe just coming up onto the toes to begin, and then we'll swing right leg out to right knee out to the right. This might be where you want to stay today, playing with hands, with a toe as your kickstand. Or maybe it would feel good to lift the foot, coming onto either the shin or ankle. If it's in your practice, you could bring the sole of the foot into the inner thigh, as long as you're avoiding the knee. Remembering to breathe. Sole of the foot pushes into the standing leg. And as you're ready, let's swing right knee back to center, stretching the leg out before releasing to the floor. Beautiful. Other side. Either your other hand can be supported just by turning around or switching sides, or maybe you have a different support you could use on the opposite side. Right foot is our stable foot. Left foot starts to get light, maybe coming up onto the toe. And let's pivot left knee out to the left. This might be a good place to stay. Toe as a kickstand, you can play with your arms. Or maybe you're looking for more. Maybe lifting the sole of the foot, placing it on the ankle or shin. Maybe one hand stays for balance. Maybe your one hand waves in the wind as if you were branches. Letting it be quite playful. It's just yoga. Sole of the foot pushes into the standing leg. Standing leg is super strong. As you're ready, swinging left knee forward again. Let's stretch out the leg before placing the foot back on the floor. Beautiful. Let's come back to seated. Before we settle into our final kind of letting go of practice, let's just bring the right knee in towards chest or lift under the thigh just for a moment, finding a couple of ankle circles. We can't really move into the feet too much. And they just did a lot of work supporting us for balance. Give them a little love. Switching directions. And releasing right foot. Let's come back to the left. Finding some ankle circles on the left side. Switching directions as you're ready. And let's release that foot to the floor. Finding a fairly neutral spine. We can kind of let go of practice. If it would feel good to lean back against the backrest of your chair, we could do that now as well. Letting shoulders melt down. Maybe closing the eyes. And coming back to that observation of breath. Letting go of any control of the breath and just letting your body do what it does. Letting your body take over. It knows what to do. Trusting that it knows what to do. You can keep your hands exactly where they are. Or if it's in your practice, you could bring your hands to prayer position or maybe hands over heart. Whatever feels best. We'll close practice today. First of all, sending ourselves gratitude for honoring our bodies, for making the time to practice and to move and breathe today. With gratitude to each of you for making the time to join me this morning. And with gratitude to all the students and teachers who have come before us, passing this practice down. Peace. stop the recording. I'm available to chat for a couple of minutes if anybody would like to stick around.